172 drones. One night.
One message from Zelensky. Do something.
As Russia unleashes the largest drone assault yet on Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky isn't mincing words. He's demanding that the West, especially the US and Europe, step up. Not with tweets, not with press conferences, with real consequences. Because, as he put it, ignoring these Shahed drone attacks is ignoring global efforts to end this war. Let's unpack what happened, why Zelensky is so furious, and what this could mean for Western involvement, and how the war evolves next. Overnight, Russia launched 172 Iranian-made Shahed drones at targets across Ukraine. This is
the largest single drone attack since the war began.
A clear escalation in psychological and physical warfare. A test of Ukraine's air defenses and Western patience.
These aren't precision strikes.
They're terror weapons, flooding the skies too. Overwhelm defense systems. Destroy infrastructure. Target energy grids and civilian morale.
Ukraine shot down a majority of them, but the message was clear. Russia is willing to escalate.
What is the West willing to do?
President Zelensky didn't hold back.
In a press briefing, he said, "This is not just Ukraine under attack. It is the global order under attack." He's calling on the U.S. to increase air defense support, Europe to act as a united front, and the international community to respond decisively to Iran's drone exports and Russia's continued aggression. He's done with strongly worded statements. He wants consequences. Let's break down why these drone strikes are such a big deal. They're cheap. Shahed drones cost as little as $20,000, $50,000 each. Compare that to missiles that cost millions.
They're hard to detect.
Flying low and slow, they're designed to evade radar and saturate air defenses.
They're made by Iran.
This brings a new international angle to the war, further implicating Tehran in the Kremlin's war machine.
They create fatigue. Night after night, these drones wear down cities, energy infrastructure, and civilian willpower.
This isn't just war, it's attrition by drone. Zelensky's frustration is simple. The West talks about defending Ukraine's sovereignty. But then Russia launches 172 drones, and nothing happens.
No new sanctions. No surge in air defense systems.
No red lines.
Zelensky is warning.
If the world tolerates this, it normalizes state-sponsored drone terror. So, what's stopping the West? Election year politics. The U.S. is in a presidential cycle, and both parties are divided on more Ukraine aid. Military stockpiles are low.
NATO countries have been stretched thin supplying Ukraine, and their own arsenals are running dry. Fear of escalation.
Some Western leaders still fear that too strong a response could trigger a wider war with Russia or Iran. Fatigue. There's growing Ukraine fatigue in parliaments across Europe, where budgets, energy prices, and populist sentiment are shifting priorities. But none of that changes the fact that Russia is escalating, and Ukraine is left holding the line.
Zelensky's public pressure might be working. There are whispers in Washington and Brussels that a new anti-drone coalition could be formed. Ukraine may receive more Patriot and Iris-T systems,
and there's growing talk of direct sanctions on Iran's drone industry. But nothing's official. And Zelensky knows time is running out. Every day the West delays, Ukraine bleeds more resources, more lives, and more cities. This isn't just a Russia story.
Iran is quietly becoming a co-combatant in Ukraine by
supplying Shahed drones, training Russian drone operators, and possibly testing new variants with advanced AI targeting.
Zelensky's warning isn't just to the West. It's a signal to Israel, the Gulf, and NATO.
If Iran can use Ukraine as a test lab for drone warfare, no one is safe. And that raises a new question. Should the West retaliate directly against Iranian drone infrastructure? Here's what's at stake.
Ukraine loses momentum. Russia doubles down on asymmetric warfare.
Iran gets emboldened to export drones to other conflict zones, and the global norm against drone saturation attacks collapses.
We're looking at the normalization of cheap, relentless terror by technology.
If that spreads, the next battlefield might not be Ukraine. It might be Taiwan, Israel, or Eastern Europe.
When Zelensky says,
ignoring these attacks is ignoring global efforts to end the war,
he's not wrong.
This is about more than Kyiv or Kharkiv.
It's about whether the free world is still willing to defend its own rules, or whether it will sleepwalk into a new age of silent, automated warfare.
The drones are already here. The question is, what will the West do about it? Should the US and Europe respond more aggressively to these drone attacks? Should Iran be sanctioned or targeted directly for supplying them? Or is this just the new normal of modern war? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.